So today I'm going to start off with a story that I came across on LinkedIn a few days ago, which kind of connected me to one of my memories that I had from my high school. As I was going through my profile, there was this story about a lion which fell in a well and it was not able to come up. It was staying there very miserable, and all the animals around saw the lion, but they didn't want to help him. They were scared, but they were also feeling really pity and they were feeling really bad for the lion. The word spread across the jungle, and all the animals came by and they wanted to see how they can help the lion. They felt just burying him in the well would help him get out of that misery and also protect them. So they all agreed upon it. They started putting dirt into the well and bury the lion. The lion was really angry. It roared in the beginning. And then all of a sudden, it thought, hey, wait a minute. Let me look at this in a different way. And was, what he did was he shrugged it off and stepped up on the dirt. So every pile of dirt that was coming in, he shrugged it off and stepped up. It was very painful. He was using dedication, patience, everything that we think about in real life. He did that continuously. And all of a sudden, he was at a level where he could leap out of the well. So he came to a level where he could get out of the well and he was free. This story was very important. Like it teaches us all the important values in our life. And when I was reading through it, it connected me to a personal story I had. I knew a friend of mine in high school. It was after the high school, we were going to college. She was a teen mom back then, and she was in tears. She had two kids at the age of 18, and she was going through a divorce as well because it was a very abusive marriage. But at that point, all we can do is support her by giving her encouragement, but we couldn't help her to get a job because we all were kids. And she also had a lot of struggles within her peers and family. She was not supported at all. And then she also had suicidal thoughts at that point. So we did make her promise that she would not do anything stupid. And she did say that she's okay. She wanted to leave for her kids. We went to our colleges. I think it was 3 years after. Back then, we were not in touch. We didn't have Facebooks, texts, or all the social media that we have right now. So after 3 years, when I went back to my home, I met her, and oh boy, she was audacious. Um, she did work hard. She got a full-time job, which would pay her very minimal, but at nights she went to school. She finished her undergrad and she was enrolled in a master's program in 3 years. I was, I felt so proud of her because I was going to college. I had support of my family. I had no financial problems, and I still was complaining. And when she said she did all that while taking care of two kids, I was really proud of her. But she didn't stop there. She had a job, like with her undergrad, she got a really good teaching job at that point. But she said she wanted to get best of her life and she wanted to give the best to her kids too, financially as well. So she started out on her master's, and she said her vision was to build a school, like a private school. This was back in India, so it's very common to have a school, but it needs the courage and entrepreneurship to start any business. And I felt like at that point that she was in her life, it was really, really brave, and she was very courageous to have that vision. So she did something similar to what the story says. Like there were a lot of naysayers, including me. I felt it was a huge risk to leave her job and go and start her own business. But she did it. She went back, she started her business, she started a private school. She really worked hard. There was, I think at the time, her loan, like her debt was so huge. I was worried for her, but she did work hard. She had an established school, and I think by the time I started my first job, it was almost 3 years in, 3 or 4 years in, where she was able to pull in a lot of people, students into her school, and she was established. She was like one of the good startup schools in there. She was really doing good. And I was like, at that point, I felt like, yes, it takes a vision, courage, patience for you to go through your life problems. And it also takes a lot of positivity as well. So when you are in a situation, you can look at it and just cry and feel like you're in a very desperate situation, or you can turn it around. You can see how you can turn it around and have that hope and positivity in our lives. And it didn't stop there for her. When I went back, I think at that time I did come here to US for a job. And when I connected back with her after 5 years, she said she wanted to scale. She was very established. She paid off all her debts and she scaled her school. It's one of the really established schools back in India from my state, and she has schools around in different cities in the state I was born in. So I'm very proud of her. I feel like that inspires you all as well to just make the best use of the situation you are in, have the patience and courage to move forward. I'm going to use that. That story reminded me of her. So I'm going to use that in my life as well with COVID 2020. A lot of people went through so many different situations, but positivity, turning your situation around, patience and courage, and having that vision would help us get through this. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster, Madam Toastmaster.